Hey everyone, Kelly here. I wanted to give some tips on improving your aim and basically improving your overall gameplay of Valorant. This is for people who may be stuck in kind of gold 3 and below, maybe early plats and are struggling to get out. The tips are predominantly around how to improve aim. And aim is one of the kind of big factors of whether you are good or bad at this game. It's not everything, all right? It's not everything. The other two, in no particular order, would be general just game sense and also movement. Abilities is kind of in there as well. But anyway, aim is one of the top 3 for sure. If you are struggling with your aim, the single biggest piece of advice I can give you is to lower your sensitivity. And I say that not really knowing what your sensitivity is, but to give you an idea of the sensitivity that I would say most people, or the range of sensitivities that most players at a high level play with. And that's most, definitely not all, but a significant number. So I play on 800 Windows DPI and 0.165 in-game. Now I started at 0.2 and I have been tweaking it since then. And I have found that this kind of works best for me. It's the right compromise between speed and accuracy. Now, the reason that you play on such a low sensitivity in a game like Valorant, and if you're coming from Counter-Strike, you probably already know this. And if you were playing on a high sensitivity in Counter-Strike, the same principles apply here. But the majority of rounds in Valorant are spent holding very, very known angles, tight angles, and you need very minuscule kind of mouse movement and tracking to actually shoot. So if you think of all of the kind of common spots where whether you're attacking or defending, you are holding very, very closed angles and you are watching very kind of minute areas where people are pushing. And so you actually need to value the kind of minuscule tracking movement of trying to aim for headshots, and you need that kind of control when you start to spray, all right? Lower sensitivity helps with all of these things significantly so. The reason people want or feel like they need to play with higher sensitivity is because in theory, you're kind of checking every single angle as you're kind of moving out. But you shouldn't be playing like that anyway. You should be playing very, very not slowly every round, obviously, but you should be playing in a way that you are kind of holding and checking one angle at a time. If you are running out and being exposed to kind of 3 or 4 angles at a time, or if you're on CT and you decide to stand here and hold short and showers, I mean, that's just bad playing to start with. You should never be in those positions. You should always be watching kind of closed, tight angles. Now, that kind of situation is fairly unique to a game like Valorant and Counter-Strike, and very, very different to any game in the Battle Royale genre, or any game like TF2 or Overwatch, where the areas that characters or enemy characters can come from is exponentially higher than it is in a game like Valorant. 90% of engagements in Valorant they come from within like a range of like 20 degrees. Let's just say that's about 20 degrees of where enemies might be, and you know that they might be there. It's very rare that you get flanked from behind and have to do a 180 to spin around. If I move my whole mouse across my mouse pad, this is how far I move. Basically just over 180. And I've got a fairly big mouse pad. But that's because I'm not really ever in a position where someone could be behind me and in front of me. That's just like, it probably happens once every 10 to 12 games that situation happens, and I can do it. It's just a little bit awkward. In a Battle Royale game, you are watching every single angle most of the time. Even if you're really good at a Battle Royale game and you keep track of enemy rotations and you cover your flank, you still have about a 180 degree kind of range of where people might be. You're also running into kind of a lot of buildings, a lot of houses where you need to check like n number of angles constantly, and that's just not how Valorant plays. Valorant is about really, really precise gunplay and really, really precise aiming. So that's my tip. My actual like practical takeaway is to watch a video, which I will link in the description or post alongside this video, which is how to kind of calculate your optimal Counter-Strike sensitivity. One kind of in-game exercise you can do is if you get your gun and you shoot some hole in the wall, so you have a spot here to watch, and you stand close, medium, far away, and far away, and all you try and do is keep your mouse on that hole. So you try to track left and right, and you try and keep your cursor in the center of that hole. You do it close, you do it medium distance away, will be a bit easier. And you do it far away, which should also be easier. Now with a high sensitivity, this will be harder. The far away one will be really hard. As you can see, I'm kind of finding that the easiest. Medium should be obviously a good trade-off between the two, and then close will be harder with lower sensitivity. So I'm struggling a little bit here. So I would suggest starting at 800 DPI windows and 0.2 or 0.22-ish, and seeing how you go from there. I would give it a couple of days at that kind of sensitivity just to get used to it, because straight away you're going to hate it. I promise you that straight away you're going to hate it. Think of it more as an investment, where in 2 to 3 days you'll be used to that sensitivity, and then you can start improving from there. Once you kind of have given it time to settle in, you can head to the shooting range and kind of tweak it up and down from there, depending on your kind of play style and the way that you move your hand and your arm. And yeah, so there you have it. I hope this video makes sense. I hope it helps you improve your game. And thank you so much for watching.